Hi, I'm Karen. Welcome to my kitchen. It doesn't matter who you are these days, everyone is so busy. So today we're going to show you one recipe that you can use a few different ways during the week and get you out of the kitchen and back to your family. You don't want to miss this one.
Kick it.
So today we're going to make a very simple, very delicious meat sauce, and we're going to use it 3 different ways throughout the week so it doesn't feel like you're eating the same thing. We're going to do some really delicious stuffed peppers, and then we're going to make a nice creamy moussaka, and we're going to finish the day by making some beautiful stuffed shells. And what I like about this recipe is it doesn't take a lot of ingredients. It's a meat sauce, but instead of using your typical ground beef, we're going to use sausage, and it's ground sausage, and you can find it just ground up in the store. This is 1 pound, and I'm going to pop it into a hot pan. You can hear it sizzling already. And we're just going to brown that. And what I like about using the sausage is you don't have to season the sauce. It has already so many delicious spices in there. You're going to get a really, really nice flavor very quick and very simply. Now, I'm not sure what this is called, but my dad got it for me. He's always getting me crazy cooking tools. But I love it because you can just kind of smash up your ground beef and like you smash and turn, and it's awesome. So this is just going to take a few minutes, and we're going to get it nice and brown, and then we're going to drain off that fat. So my sausage is all browned, and I went ahead and drained the fat off. I'm going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes, and these are petite cut. If you don't have diced, you can use crushed. I just kind of like to have a little more chunk in there. I'm just going to pour that in right on top of the sausage. I'm going to use my little tool here to kind of squish those down a little bit, mash them up a little bit, and blend them in. And I want to keep my heat on about medium. Get it all nice and cooked together. Okay, that looks pretty good. I have a can of tomato sauce, and I've taken out half of it. So the rest of it, the other half, I'm going to use a little bit later during the day for our stuffed shells. But for now, you're just going to use half a can of tomato sauce, and this is just plain. You can do the low sodium if you prefer to kind of get rid of some of that salt, which is a good option. I'm just going to add that here. Okay, I'm going to give that a quick stir. Gosh, it's already smelling so good. And this is not a traditional bolognese because I am making it with the sausage, but it's kind of like a sausage bolognese. It's a meat sauce. It's delicious. And then just 2 more final things. I have a tablespoon of tomato paste, and it's going to give it a little bit of sweetness. Kind of get that nice and incorporated. It's going to make your sauce a little more red. And then I'm just going to add 1 final ingredient to that, which might be a bit of a surprise, but I'm actually going to put in 1 teaspoon of sugar. And the reason I'm doing that is that sugar is going to help cut the acidity of the tomatoes. You might not need it. Taste your food when you're cooking. It's really important. But sometimes these canned tomatoes tend to be really acidic, so this helps with that. I'm just going to sprinkle it in, and it won't taste sweet. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. I want to hear that sizzle. Be careful though, because it can splatter if it gets too hot. And here we go, that's it. So I'm going to set that here, I'm going to clear off these and get out my next ingredients, and we're going to make some beautiful stuffed peppers. This is the easiest recipe. What I like about it is I'm actually going to use leftovers. So earlier this week I had some rice, chicken and rice, and I have some leftover rice, and I'm going to use that with this sauce to make some really delicious peppers. This is so simple. You're going to use the same amount of rice as you use of sauce. So if you just want to make 1 or 2, just kind of measure out what you're doing. This 1 pound recipe will make 4 good sized peppers. And I'm actually only going to make 2 today because I'm going to use the rest of it to make some stuffed shells later. So let's start with the rice. I've got about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of rice. Okay, and it doesn't even have to be hot because you're going to stick this in the oven. So you can take it pretty much straight out of the fridge. Just want to make sure it's not all clumped up. Like I said, that's about not quite 2 cups. So I'm going to use the same amount of sauce, and it doesn't have to be exact. You just want to make sure it has a nice even consistency. Add a little bit more. So this 1 pound of sauce goes a long way. And typically when I make it, I'll make a double batch and then just use it throughout the week. I'm just gonna mix that together with my rice. Boy, it smells so good. I'm a little hungry. Okay, our mixture is all incorporated. And I'm gonna stick it aside and get to work on the peppers. And like I said, if you use the full 1 pound of sausage, it's gonna make 4 beautiful stuffed peppers, but today I'm only gonna make 2. And you're gonna cut around the top of your pepper. And then we're gonna pull that out and have a really cute little cup to put our filling in. And I like to save these because sometimes I'll go ahead and bake the tops and use them as a garnish. There we go, see how easy that was? And I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm actually gonna kind of scrape out some of these veins just to have more room for my filling. And I might even have more than enough for 2 here. But it's really good even just to eat the filling by itself. So if you have more filling than pepper, don't worry about it. It will not get wasted, I promise. I'm gonna fill that right up to the top. Beautiful. Oh yeah, I am gonna have some left over, I think. Oops. All right, and now I'm gonna get my second pepper done. Okay, so my second pepper is all stuffed, and I'm gonna get my baking dish. There we go. And you wanna make sure that whatever you cook them in, you have enough room for the air to circulate. So if you're doing 4 peppers, put them in a good sized baking dish, because what happens when they touch and they're done, the part that's touching won't be cooked. So you wanna make sure that the air can get all the way around them. And there are a couple of things I'm gonna do to get these peppers finished. First, I'm gonna just brush a little bit of olive oil around the sides. You can do this before you stuff them, but I wouldn't do it before you cut them because they're slippery. It's not the best idea. And it's perfect if you just make 2. You have them for lunch. You've got your vegetable, you've got your grain, you've got your protein, and even your dairy, because we're gonna put a touch of cheese on top. Okay, those have some olive oil. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt and just a touch of pepper. And my last step, I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top of these and pop them in the oven. And this is just mozzarella, but you can use Parmesan. That's a really nice one for these. Any cheese you want. These will go into a 350-degree oven for about 40 to 45 minutes, just until your peppers are nice and soft. There we go. And you can see it is just delicious, and it is just stuffed with all of that yummy sausage rice goodness, and the cheese is melting, and this is going to be the perfect meal. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.